Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sew Not Scary. This channel is all about getting over our fear of sewing through using a mini sewing machine. Today we're going to take a look at how to make a paper airplane applique using your mini sewing machine. To make our paper airplane applique, we're going to need a backing fabric, a top fabric to make that applique, some fusible interfacing, some applique paper or Wonder Under or Bondo web, and finally an applique pattern. Now that we have these things, let's go ahead and get started. In my hand, I've got a printout of a paper airplane. I just found this image on Google Images, and I just printed it out to the size that I wanted to create the paper airplane. Now I'm going to cut it out using a pair of scissors. Here we go. There, that's all cut out. Let's move on to the next step. Okay, so here I have the piece of felt that I showed you earlier, and as you can see, it's ever so slightly bigger than the paper airplane that we want to make out of it. Okay, I also have a piece of fusible web. Now, Bondo web or applique paper is just this paper, and on one side of it it's just matte plain paper. On the other side, there is actually a very fine layer of heat-activated glue. So when we put this paper onto the back of the felt and heat the paper up, that glue will transfer onto the felt. And once we remove the paper, we will be able to stick the felt onto anything we want using heat. Okay, so that's what I'm just going to do and show you how we do it. In my hand, I've got a hot iron. Okay, I have placed the Bondo web with the shiny side down or the glue side down onto the back of the felt. Okay, like so. Let's just flip it that way. And now, using my iron, I'm just going to press down on it. And as I do that, just for a few seconds, the paper is going to stick to the felt. There, it's done. We don't have to slide the iron, we just have to press. Let me show you what that looks like now. So the applique paper has been stuck onto the back of the felt. I'm now going to gently peel it off. And you will see it peels away very easily. And now you can see that one side of the felt has turned a little bit shiny and flat. It's not fuzzy because now there's a layer of heat activated glue stuck onto one side of the felt. This will allow the felt to stick to any other fabric we want. Let me show you how. Hey guys, so the very first thing we need to do before we stick the felt onto any other fabric is to cut it out. Now here I've placed the paper airplane pattern on top of the felt, and I've actually used clear sticky tape to stick it onto the felt. Can you see that shiny bit? That's the clear sticky tape, and I've just taped it on to keep the pattern in place. Now I'm going to use a pair of scissors and cut the paper airplane out of the felt. There. The paper airplane has been cut out of felt, and now I can remove the top paper and show you what it looks like. There it is. That's the shape we were looking for. Now let's move on to the next step, which is sticking this onto another piece of fabric. Hey guys, in front of me I've got a piece of fabric on which I want to create my paper airplane applique, okay? Now, I've used this fabric purely for demonstration purposes. This could well be a plain t-shirt or a fabric bag or anything else on which you want to create the paper airplane, okay? But for now, I'm just using a blank piece of fabric to show you how we're going to go about making our paper airplane applique. So on this fabric, I'm now going to take the felt airplane that we cut out earlier. On its back, it's all smooth and shiny because that's where the glue is from the bond web. And on the front, it's just plain, the way we want it to be. I'm going to place this on the fabric where I want to position it. So maybe thereabouts, okay? And now I'm going to take a hot iron again and press this in place. Now you want to make sure that your iron is not too hot, otherwise you might end up burning your felt, because felt is very delicate because it's wool fibers. So my iron is just hot enough to activate the glue behind the felt and stick it on, and there, it's done. Now you can see that the paper airplane felt cutout is firmly stuck onto the fabric using the Wonder Under or Bond Web as we call it as well, okay? And you can see it's not falling off or going anywhere, which is exactly what we want. But there's just one last thing we need to process before we can get on to the sewing stage. And that is that we want to stabilize this fabric a little bit more. Fabrics like t-shirt fabrics or any other fabric, singular fabric can be fairly delicate to work with in a mini sewing machine. So to stabilize it a little bit more, what I'm going to do is on the back of it, I'm going to put some fusible interfacing. Let me show you how I do that. Okay, so in my hand I've got some fusible interfacing. Fusible interfacing is just a piece of textile of varying thickness, okay? And again, on one side of it, which is the shiny side, we've got some heat activated glue to permanently stick it to any fabric we want, okay? And what it does is it strengthens any fabric that you are sewing. The thicker the fusible interfacing, the stronger your project is going to get after you sew it, okay? So right now in my hand, I've only got some fairly lightweight fusible interfacing because all I really wanted to do is give some body to the underlying fabric of my paper airplane applique. So here's how we're going to stick it on. I'm going to take my paper airplane applique fabric and flip it over onto the wrong side, okay? Now my fusible interfacing is slightly larger than the applique airplane, and I'm going to place it the shiny side down onto the back of the airplane like so, making sure that it covers all of the airplane on the back, okay? And now I'm just going to use a hot iron to fuse it in place. So here's my hot iron and I'm just going to press it down like we did earlier. There, the fusible interfacing has been installed in place. So as you can see now, there it is, you can see it. And on the front, this is what it looks like. And now you can see there's some body, some rigidity or stiffness to the project that we will be working with. The final thing we need to do before we start sewing our paper airplane is make some markings on it. Now, as you can see on the pattern, we've got some nice simple straight lines that we're going to follow on the felt as well. So along the edge, it's fairly easy because we can simply line up the edge with the edge of the presser foot. But what do we do about the middle lines? Well, what we have to do is simply draw them out, okay? And in order to do that, I've got a simple red pencil. This is water soluble, so it's going to wash away quite nicely when we wash the applique later on. And I've just got a ruler, and this is how I'm going to draw the lines. Okay, so I'm simply going to look at the original pattern of the paper airplane and connect the lines where I see them in the middle. So this edge connects with this point. So I'll place my ruler there and simply draw a line straight across. There, that's very easy to follow. Now we know that this line goes about just over halfway this way, okay? So maybe up until somewhere over there. So again, I'm going to place my ruler and now we have all the lines that we need to be able to sew this together. So now let's move on to our mini sewing machine. Hey guys, so now I've set up my mini sewing machine. So right there on top, I've actually installed dark pink thread for top stitching the paper airplane applique. And down there in the bobbin compartment, I've also put pink thread. Now, if you don't know how to thread your mini sewing machine, I've done detailed videos showing you exactly how to do this using two very nifty tricks, okay? So I will be posting links to those videos below. Do check those out and learn how to thread this little machine because it's super easy, okay? And this little wire that you can see, it's actually going down under my desk to the foot pedal of the mini sewing machine. And I've also made a detailed tutorial talking about the foot of the mini sewing machine. And by foot, I mean the pedal which you use to operate the sewing machine, okay? And now we're ready to sew our paper airplane applique. So let me give you a close-up of how we're gonna do that. Okay, so I hope you can see this clearly. I'm now seated at my mini sewing machine. The presser foot is lifted up so I can slide my project under there, okay? I'm going to take my paper airplane applique and just place it under, lining one edge of the airplane with one edge of the presser foot, okay? So I think round about there. So that curvature is lining up with the edge of the felt, okay? I'm going to lower the needle into the fabric. Rotating the hand wheel with my hand. And now I'll lower the presser foot. Okay, and now we're going to do 3 stitches forward. That's 3 stitches and the needle is still inside the felt. I'm going to lift the presser foot using the purple lever at the back and turn the whole thing around. And we're going to go back over those 3 stitches now. So lower the presser foot, go back over them. Now we're going to lift the presser foot again, turn the whole project around, and continue to sew as before, following the edge of the airplane. Here we go. At the corner, I'll lift the presser foot again, turn the project, lower the presser foot, and continue to sew. Now I've approached that line that we made with the pencil, so I'll just follow that line. Okay, now at this stage, the outline of our paper airplane has been drawn, okay? But I'm going to take this one step further by going over this outline 2 more times. Hey guys, so I've gone over the paper airplane applique 3 times now, following all the lines 3 times, okay? Now what we want to do is shade the colored bits of the paper airplane. So in the original image, this little triangle was the darkest shaded, which is the red bit, and the blue one was a lighter shade. The wings were the lightest. So what I want to do is actually go over this little triangular piece, which in the paper airplane applique is this bit, a few times, going back and forth in straight lines. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go along one corner of that little triangle, lift the presser foot, line my needle along one edge, lower the presser foot, and go forward 1 stitch. So I can do that by just rotating the hand wheel by hand. That's 1 stitch forward. Now I'll lift the presser foot, turn it this way, lower it, and move forward in a straight line until I reach this edge of the triangle. Okay, lift the presser foot again, turn it along the opposite edge, lower the presser foot, and go forward another stitch. Lift the presser foot, turn it back this way, and now go across again. Okay, and we're gonna keep repeating this process until we cover all of that little triangle. And that's it. We've done the zigzag here. Okay, now I'm going to go over these zigzags one more time. Let me do that and show you what it looks like. Hey guys, I'm back, and I've actually gone over that little triangle back and forth twice, making all these lines. And you can see I actually made a mistake here, running this stitch diagonally, but that's fine because this was just used for shading purposes, almost like quilting, so it's fine. Okay, we're not aiming for perfection, we're just aiming to get some sewn results that we like. Now I was looking at this project at this stage, and if I want to, I can actually go ahead and shade this part of the airplane using the same technique, but only doing single stitches instead of double stitches to make it lighter. But now when I actually look at the airplane, it actually looks quite good to me. I don't think I need to do that. So we're just going to keep this as basic as possible, only doing the bare necessities. So I'm going to wrap up the project now. How do we do that? Well, just like we started here, going back and forth over the first 3 stitches, we're going to go back and forth over the last 3 stitches as well. Let me show you how. So wherever my needle is, I'm going to find a line to follow, a line of stitching to follow, lower the presser foot, and go forward 3 stitches. Now I'll lift the presser foot, rotate the whole thing around 180 degrees, lower, and go back over those 3 stitches. Last leg, we turn the whole thing around again and go over those 3 stitches one last time. That's it. Now let me show you how to take the project out from underneath the presser foot. So to take the project out from underneath the presser foot, we're going to lift the presser foot up using the purple lever at the back, and I'm going to take the needle out from the project. So I rotate the hand wheel towards myself and the needle goes up. Here, it's come out now. This is the tension disc. I'm going to make a loop of thread right after the tension disc by pulling on the thread on this side. Okay, there is my loop of thread made. Now I can easily lift and pull my project out from underneath the presser foot. There we go. Okay, and snip the thread. Okay, and there's the project. Now let me press it out and show you what we're going to do with this. See you in a tick. Hey guys, our applique is now finished, and now we need to finish off the project. Now what do we do? In my hand I've got a large-eyed needle, okay, and I can see the top thread sticking out of the project right there. Okay, I'm going to take my needle and poke the fabric next to where that thread is sticking out. Okay, and it goes. And now I'm going to put this thread through the eye of the needle. And pull it to the back. There. The thread has gone to the back. Okay. At the back, I'm going to knot this thread. So there's a back thread. This is the front thread. I'm gonna do a simple double knot. And now I'll snip the extra thread. And that's secured now. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same process here and show you what it looks like. Hey guys, so as you can see, our paper airplane applique is now finished. I also did a little squiggle with the mini sewing machine, and before I did that, I actually installed a smaller piece of fusible interfacing behind the fabric to give it more strength. And here as well you can see what the shading looks like, and I think it worked out perfectly. We don't have to shade this bit with thread anymore. I think on its own it looks perfect as it is. So if this were on a t-shirt, it would look amazing, but right now, because it's on a sample fabric, I'm probably just going to leave it as it is, or maybe frame it, and if I do, I will show you what that looks like. One final note regarding those little wrinkles around the edges that you see, that has happened because the fabric was too thin. Okay, in all honesty, I should have used a little more robust fabric. This is just very cheap thin poly cotton that I used, which has caused those wrinkles because we sewed over it 3 times. Okay, so when the fabrics match up nicely, for example when you're using t-shirt fabric or thicker cotton or any other thicker fabric, you will not get this problem anyway. And I hope that makes sense. If you found this video helpful at all, please do give it the thumbs up, guys. I am a new channel after all, and your support is much appreciated indeed. Please also subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. I'm posting videos out every single week, so you'll know exactly when I do that. If you have any questions, or if you'd like me to make videos on any specific topics, please do comment below and I will be sure to create videos that you like more. Until next time, take care, happy crafting, bye!